What's going on, everyone? Ains here, Seasoned Gaming, and we're back with yet another controller review. And surprise, Razer is releasing a competitive esports Raiju V3 Pro today as you're watching this, or at least as this video debuts. So Razer has been very busy on the controller front, and if you pay attention and watch the channel, I've already reviewed the Xbox Wolverine V3 Pro and the updated 8K PC version of that controller. And now they reached out a few weeks ago. I've been using this actually for almost a month now, which is the PlayStation 5 version, if you will, of this updated controller suite from Razer. And so a lot of these features I've kind of already talked about because they're incorporating all of that learning into this PlayStation controller, but we'll go through it in detail anyway, and I'll explain to you why I think, I'll say it right at the top, I think this is the best PS5 controller on the market. I will be comparing it to both the Wolverine V3 Pro and the 8K PC Wolverine, along with the PlayStation DualSense Edge, which is PlayStation's first party, expensive, kind of higher end controller. But we will get into all the details, but let's start with the basics if you are new here and haven't checked out any of the modern or released in the last year Razer controllers. So they basically updated their model starting with the Wolverine Xbox V3 Pro, and there's a few aspects of this that are key to understand. First, this one uses Hall effect sticks, so you get less stick drift. They then updated to TMR, the more advanced next generation of Hall effect on the 8K PC controller. They use lockable mouse click triggers. They have mouse click paddles. And they have these really nice tactile Razer buttons. They call them Mecha Tactile buttons, along with this really, really nice, probably my favorite on any controller, floating 8-way D-pad. So the Wolverine V3 Pro I really liked. I thought this was one of the best, if not the best, Xbox controller at the time. I still do, and I still use this regularly. Since the 8K polling PC version of that controller came out, this is the only controller I have been using on my PC anyway. It has updated grips, so better grips. It has the 8K polling when you play wired on PC, so it's just ultra responsive. And it uses the TMR sticks instead of Hall effect on the Wolverine V3 Pro. It's also very light. It was made with no rumble or anything, so it's a lighter version to hold. For the PlayStation Raiju V3 Pro, and we'll set this back here, what they've done is they've taken all of that kind of learning and incorporated into this. Now, there are a few differences. So everything I just mentioned holds true, same with the 8K PC controller. So it has TMR thumbsticks, so no stick drift and no kind of mechanism there to fail on you over time. It has lockable mouse click triggers, mouse click M1 and M2, kind of claw bumpers or additional buttons on the top. It has the floating 8-way D-pad that I love. It has these Mecha Tactile face buttons, and it has these really nice textured grips that actually, as you can see on the camera here, come all the way around to the front. That's one of the nice things I think they added over the original Xbox One, which is grips on the back but flat on the front. Both the 8K PC one and the PS5 one, the grips wrap around to the front, and it sounds silly, but it's really nice once you get used to it. You may also notice right out of the gate, they've gone back to the symmetrical layout for PlayStation players. Now, personally, I prefer offset sticks, but you know, so be it. They said they got feedback that the PlayStation players really have gotten used to symmetrical sticks and they prefer it, so here you go. Additionally, you have your touchpad, which also, funny enough, is mouse click. So, you know, it's kind of a nicety. And your share button and everything you would expect from a PlayStation controller. The nice thing about this one, similar to the Xbox One, is you can use it on PC as well, and it can be wireless or wired. So it has toggles on the back for PC and PS5, and wired and wireless. Now, one of the additional nice things with this controller versus even the other two is that they finally made these back paddles removable. So on both the Wolverine V3 Pro and the PC, they are just here. They don't generally get in your way. They're really kind of ergonomic, and because they're mouse click, they're super responsive, which I love. But as someone who generally uses one of these M1 buttons and only one paddle of the four, it's really nice to be able to remove these, and they come with these little plugs you can insert here to just flatten it out. So really now when I play on PS5, I'm holding it like this and I'm just using my one paddle and everything else just feels like the grip, which is fantastic. So, the other thing that you'll notice with this controller is that both of these, the V3 Pro Wolverine and the AKPC Wolverine, are a certain shape. They're modeled after this new kind of Xbox shape. They have shorter handles and they're a little more compact. For anyone who plays on PlayStation 5, you know the DualSense is a bigger controller. It's wider, it's got bigger handles, and so they modeled this Raiju V3 Pro more like that. It is not an exact replica of the DualSense. It has its own shape, and I'll be honest with you, I prefer the shape of the Raiju. It has these longer grips, but they're more ergonomic, and at least for me, again, I always say with controllers, ergonomics are gonna be, personal to you. But for me, this is a much nicer controller to hold, especially over longer sessions, than the DualSense. For me, the DualSense, it's not that it's uncomfortable, it's that over time, this kind of thickness here on the side, it just cramps my hand. And I don't know what it is about it that does that, but it just does. And so I have found, playing with this for weeks now, like I said, I don't have that problem with the Raiju. It's just a more comfortable controller to hold, and that's before I get to any other features. So I just wanted to call that out. If you're someone who's used the Wolverines and you think, the handles are too short or it doesn't work with you, you wanted a bigger controller, this is bigger. It does have longer handles, and I think you can see that if I'm matching these up well. It's just a bigger controller. I'll give you some up-close pictures later in the video as comparison as well. So, when you talk about the DualSense Edge, right? $200 controller, direct from PlayStation, has trigger locks, has paddles, has removable thumbsticks, and a lot of nice features. I've talked about this controller a lot. It also feels really solid. It's really good build quality, and I like it quite a bit. That said, as someone who plays a lot of competitive games, and as someone who really, really digs controllers. We've talked before on this channel, I use all these things and I really like a good controller. It matters a lot to me what controller I'm using when I'm playing. Since receiving this from Razer, I have not used the DualSense Edge one time. Not a single time. This is far and away now my preferred controller. So I'll just list it. The grips are better, the buttons are better, the D-pad's better, the thumbsticks are better, the triggers are better, and the M1 buttons are a nice addition as well. Overall, it's just a much, much more comfortable and nicer controller to use than the Edge. If you prefer something that has kind of the competitive mouse click triggers, nicer buttons, thumbsticks are much more precise. Even though you can replace these, they're still the classic PlayStation thumbstick mechanism. Once you get used to these TMR sticks and how precise they are, it's really hard to go back. All I have used gaming on Battlefield and Halo and Finals and Arc Raiders and all these other games in the shooter space has been this AKPC Wolverine controller. And one of the main reasons is the thumbsticks. They're just so precise, and in fact, they have no stick drift. I have, on Borderlands 4, I actually turned my dead zone down to 0. And it doesn't drift at all, neither movement nor aim. So you get all the benefits of that with the Raiju V3 Pro. So finally, I always felt like on the PlayStation, the DualSense, especially the DualShock 4, just never did it for me in terms of playing anything but a single player experience. I just never really enjoyed them. And I don't really like the D-pad personally on PlayStation either. It's great for a 4-way, but for a radial D-pad, it just doesn't work extremely well, whereas this is fantastic. So this has been my go-to. The one thing you have to know, if you don't know already about PlayStation, unlike Xbox. So Xbox licenses all their features, and it's a fully licensed controller on Xbox that works just like an Xbox controller. PlayStation does not allow third parties to do that. In fact, they do not allow any third parties to build haptics like the DualSense has into their controllers. So you kind of have to make the decision. If you're someone that adores the haptics, you use it on every game, and you really like the way it feels, you don't care about the trigger locks or any of the other features I just mentioned, you're going to stick with the DualSense or go with the DualSense Edge if you want the more premium version. The Razer does not have any of that. It has vibration and those features, but it doesn't have the haptic triggers nor the haptic feedback that the DualSense has because they're simply not allowed to put that in. The other thing I want to call out, and I've told Razer about this, and I'm sure they'll resolve it in software, but you need to be aware of it, is for whatever reason, the share button was finicky for me. Obviously, anyone who plays on PlayStation knows, the default setting, at least for me, I believe, is press it for screenshot, hold it to bring up your video recording. And so that was only working intermittently for me. Sometimes I'd push it and it would do nothing. Sometimes I'd push it and it would work. And so, and then it would kind of pop up on the screen randomly. So I think it's a communication issue. So I haven't, they're looking into it, send them a video and everything. Like I said, I'm sure they'll solve that. It's obviously not something they're gonna just let continue, but I have to call it out. It's part of what I reviewed. So, other than that, you pretty much know everything about this controller that I've already said. So it really has become my go-to. I'm actually playing Chronos right now on my PlayStation 5. I'm also gonna be playing Ghost of Yotei and a few other things, and this is all I use now. So it's been fantastic. It is gonna go on sale as this video goes live. So it goes on sale October 23rd. Obviously, if you're watching this later, it's already on sale for $219.99 in the US. Obviously, regions vary. So it's $20 more than your Edge. But I was talking to a friend the other day who said he just replaced one of his controller modules, and those alone I think are either $20 or $25 each. So if you think about the fact that these have TMR sticks and much more advanced technology on basically every other aspect, your thumbsticks, D-pad, buttons, triggers, everything, like I said, it's a really great controller. It also, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, is that it also benefits from the Synapse software that the other controllers benefit from. So when you hook this up to your PC, you can customize it to the nth degree, which I'll show on the screen right now. And that includes all of your very detailed settings for your thumbsticks, your curves, and everything else, which is just fantastic. So again, if you're someone who plays, shooters or competitive games on your PlayStation, just for me, in my opinion, and all the times I play, this is a much, much better controller than your DualSense. So, not much else to say at this point. It's fantastic. I've loved it. When they reached out to me and said that they have their range of controllers coming for a new PlayStation version, I got very excited because I'm not a huge fan of PlayStation default controllers. And so according to Razer, this now wraps up their trio, if you will. So the new Xbox, the new PC, the new PlayStation 5 controller, and they've kind of redone all that now. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll briefly just say, the case you're familiar with at this point. Comes with your hard shell case, comes with a 2 meter, so about a little under 7-foot cable, comes with replacement thumb caps, your USB for your 2.4 gigahertz connection if you want to play wireless. That's what PlayStation supports. It does go up to 2000 polling on PC, which is really good. It's not as good as the 8K dedicated PC one, but it's still really good. And it comes with a little screwdriver, which is what you use to switch out the paddles. So pretty standard stuff otherwise. But again, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I've been talking about it for a while now. Like competitive controllers, want an alternative to your DualSense that is gonna be top of the line in a lot of features and feel. Highly, highly recommend the Raiju V3 Pro. So that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, etc. I'm happy to answer anything. I use these controllers every single day now, in some form. So been using them for a while. They're fantastic, and I can't recommend them enough. So thank you, as always, for tuning in to Season Gaming. We have other things coming up. I'm getting back to statues. I've got a couple sitting around I've got to do. We have a new gaming chair video coming up soon after this video. So some other things to talk about. But as always, thank you for your support. Appreciate it. Check out our Discord if you want to join a conversation with a bunch of seasoned gamers like yourself watching this video. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Peace.